Welcome to the new episode of Easy Production. So, I travel a lot, and I found myself wasting too much time in trains, in airports, just sitting, waiting. But then I found that nearly in every project I apply quite the same routine. So now I'm gonna share some tips that I personally use when I'm producing on the road. Let's go. Now let's take a look what we've got here. This is one of my latest finished projects. First of all, it's layering. This is the key to a pro sound. Literally everything is layered in my projects. And what's not is fattened with chorus or saturation. I use chorus quite often with kick drum to make it sound more exciting. But doing that, I have to pay attention on low frequency artifacts that may appear after a chorus effect. So I'd rather filter all the stuff that is lower than 150.
Check it out.
Going further, grooving with the drums. My drums are never settled on the grid. I always search for some weird grooves, moving notes back and forth, adjusting their length and velocity. Starting with only kick and snare, then adding hi-hats or other percussion, but still in the same manner. Then compression for drums. A very important thing to place all the drums in one room, at least in my music. That gives a natural feeling. Here I use glue compressor. To my taste, it does its job well. Sand buses that are short and long reverb, delay, and this is interesting, extra distorted parallel track for drums. I create a super overloaded drum sound and then mix it back to the main sound. This makes my drums punchy yet not destroying overall dreamy cloudy atmosphere. Low frequency channel that works quite similar to that in my live set. By the way, you can check first episode of Easy Production where I'm explaining my live set. Here's also a little trick with sidechaining. I use sidechaining by the kick quite everywhere. Sometimes even main vocals are sidechained, but on some part of the arrangement kick has some kind of drops, or maybe it could disappear for a couple of notes, and this would be quite visible and would sound a little bit dumb. I mean, drum disappear and side chain disappears at the same moment. That's why I'm using here ghost kick drum with sound goes nowhere, but it is still an input for sidechain compressor. Look, even when there is no kick drum sound in the song, but sidechain is still there. Okay, this work goes in prior to premix, and it's an intermediate stage between arrangement and mixing. And still it needs much of creativity and time. Yet it doesn't need a studio or hardware equipment. That's why I do it on the road only with my headphones. That's it, boys and girls, don't forget to subscribe. And let's produce easy.